My voice is audible to everyone? Thanks for your confirmation. I'm starting with the session now. So before we start the session, just we'll recap what we have discussed day before yesterday. So day before yesterday, we discussed in Windows how to take the backup and restore it using the Windows Server backup service. Now, in the Linux, we discussed the basic commands, how to log in, how to open the terminal, how to use the command like to check our working directory, how to change the directory by CD, then check the content ls. Then we created files by using cat, touch, and vi. What are the difference? I told you. With cat, we can create a file, we can read, we can append, but we can't modify and cannot create multiple files. Then we discussed touch command. It is used to create single as well as multiple files, but it can't write, cannot read, cannot modify. Then modification can be done by using editors. So we have so many editors classified into text editor and graphical. We discussed text editor in the form of VI editor, which is same like VIM. In that it has three modes I told you. Command mode, insert mode, and extended mode. That is identified by some sign which you'll get at bottom of the file. So when we are opening the file with VI editor, by default will be in command mode. That we can identify with either the file name or blank. Then in command mode, we can do copy, paste, undo, redo, searching. But if you want to modify your file, we need to go to the insert mode. So to go to insert mode from command mode, we can use either A, I, O, or insert key. When we are in insert mode, it will be written at the bottom in capital letter insert. In that, we can do only one thing, that is modification. After that, we have to save the file. So to save the file, we cannot go directly from insert mode to extended mode. So first we need to go to the command mode by using escape key. Then shift to colon from command mode. So you will see bottom of the file what? Colon. It means you are in extended mode. So in that we can replace the word as well as we can save and exit by using WQ. So that is what I've shown you. Then I've shown you how to create a folder by using mkdir command. Then we discussed how to take the copy of files and folder by using cp command. Then I shown you how we can do the renaming of the files and folder by mv. And finally, I'll show you how we can delete the file and folder by using rm command. So with that, we have done the basic things. Now today I'll start two topics, user administration and group administration. That will be our today's session. So let us start with the user administration. So already we discussed that in Windows, domain user, local user. But through the Linux, we'll be discussing only workgroup user or local user. Because in Windows, we have a service called ADDS to make our domain user. So same way in Linux, we have a service called LDAP. LDAP. So if you install that service and create a user, then it is a domain user. Without LDAP, it will be a local user or workgroup user. So I'm using users without, or I'm creating the users without the LDAP service. So it will be a local user. If you install that service, then it will be a domain user. How to create that will be same. So we'll see the user administration as well as group administration. Concept will be same as we have done in MCC. Creation will be little bit different. So let us start our today's session with what? User administration. So first of all, what do you mean by user? Because we use this word very often, no? User. So what do you mean by user? Yes, anybody? User means what? Today we are starting with what? User administration. So user means what? User means what? User means what? Any person who uses a system, a person who uses a system To access the resources and services is called as what? User. Yes, accessing the resources. Somebody written. So user means what? Any person who a person who uses the system is called, for what purpose? To using the resources and services is called as user. A person. So user means not only client. I repeat the word. Person who uses the system to access the resources and services is called as user. So by a person to become a user, I need to log in. Then only I can become a person. So to log in, what you required? User credential. Whenever I for login, I require my user credential. User credential consists of what? Username and password. So user credential consists of what? Username and password. So who can create this user credential? Who can create the user credential? Only yes, only admin can create the user credential. But up to this we can understand easily. But my doubt or my question is, user is a user or administrator is not a user. Accounts can be user account can be created by admin. But my doubt is, administrator is a user or administrator is not. So I got one answer. Yes, many answers. Yes, many of you are saying that it is also user. So now with this, now this answer is wrong, no? If I say user means client, yes. User means what? Everybody, including administrator. The word user means client. And, uses a system to access the resources is called as user. But to use the system, we need to log in. For login, we required what? User credential. So who can create the user credential? Only administrator. But administrator is also user. So now my another next doubt is, if administrator is a user, somebody has to create. So who will create the administrator now? If you are saying administrator is a user, then it is also a fact. If it is a user, somebody has to create. So I'm not talking about only Linux. In any operating system, who will create the administrator? I got one answer by default privilege user. Yes, that is the answer. I was expecting that you might have said that a person who install the OS will create the administrator. No, that is not the right answer. So nice, you have given correct answer. Remember, any operating system you install, default one OS will be created. Sorry, whenever you install any OS, default one user is created through the operating system. That's why that user is called what? In different operating system, different terminology they are using. But most of the people refer it with what? Administrator name. But in the Linux, that same administrator is referred by another word. What is the word? Yes. So you remember this concept. Whenever you install any OS, default through the operating system, one user is created. That user is a administrator. And in some terminology, administrator, like in Linux and Unix, they are referring them as what? Root. In some other OS, it is also called super user. So that's why in Linux, all the users are categorized into two types. So here, whatever we discuss, same thing is here mentioned. So the user means any person who uses the system resources or objects uh, through the internet or through the LAN. It's called as what? User. But to become a user from person, the person has to log in. To become from a person to user, a person has to log in with the username and username and password administered. So a user account generally consists of what? A name called username. And in Linux, that username is identified with the UID. What is UID? We'll discuss. Unique ID. And for authentication, the user will be for identification. Password is used for security. I'll go to the next slide now. They are called system users and normal users. So what is the difference between system users and normal users? System users means which are created by the operating system. System users will be those users will be created by the operating system. Example for system user is what? Root. So who will create the root? Who will create the root user? Operating system. So like in Linux, along with root, some other users will be created. Those users I'll show you once I start with the practical. So whichever users which have been created through the operating system, here it is classified system users. And the users which have been created by the administrator, here it is called normal users. Again, in the normal users, we will have two types of users, local user and domain user. Local user means the user created without domain service. The user which is created after installing the domain service is called domain user. So in Windows, we have domain service with what name? ADDS. In Linux, the domain users are created by using a service called LDAP. So we are not installing the LDAP, so that user will be a local user, not system users and normal users. In Linux, they have categorized system users and normal user based on UID. So here you remember default root UID is what? By default, root UID is what? The voice is not audible. repeat my question. Now it's okay. Please keep your mics in mute position, everyone, please. Okay. Now my voice is okay. I repeat, I repeat, how many types of users we have in Linux? Two types of users. They are normal users. Users means those users which are been created by the operating system. Example for that is what? Root. Along with the root, some other users is created in Linux when we install the OS. Which are those users? We'll see once I start the practical. Then when administrator users, those are called normal users. So system users are also multiple. Normal users also we can create multiple. So how we can identify system users and normal user? So for that, we use the concept of what? UID. UID stands for what? Unique ID of the user. So this unique ID will be assigned by the operating system, not by admin. Admin can change the ID, but who can assign the ID? Between 0 to 999. They are all system users. When administrator create a user, those ID will be definitely will be between 1000 to 60,000. So those are called normal users. So how we will identify the system users and normal user? With the help of ID. So this ID range 0 to 999 is for RHL7. In the old version, that ID range for the system user used to be 0 to 499. And for normal user, it used to be 500 to 60,000. But in 7, they made it what? 0 to 999 for system user. And for normal user, 1000 to 60,000. So from this, what you need to understand is that whenever user ID is less than 1000, you need to automatically understand that is a system user which has been created by OS. And whenever you see the ID of the user which is above 999, then you need to understand that user is a normal user and that normal user is being created by administrator. Then another thing is what? The root UID will be always what? But written quite correctly. UID will be what? Always 0. 0 is the first number. So root ID is constant always. It is 0. And other system user ID will be other than 0. But when the normal user, yes, when normal users is created by admin, their ID will start from 1000. First user 1000, second user 1001. This will be assigned by the operating system. But remember one more thing, system users cannot log in except root. All system users cannot log in. Their purpose is they will provide the services and all normal users can log in. Why? Because their purpose, why they have been created? To use the services or resources. So when we are going to create a user, which user you will be creating in the practical? System user or normal user? Which user you will be creating today? System user or normal user? Normal. Can we create the system user? No, that will be created by example for system user, root. Yes, nice. Then immediately the most important doubt or question can be how I can see the ID of any user. For that, the answer lies in the next slide. So if you want to check the user information in Linux, you have two database files. What you have? Two database files through which you can check the user information, whether it is a system user or normal user. Every user information you can check from the file. That file is called user database file. So I'll show you that file, user database file. So user information is stored in the user database file. That file name is what? etc passwd and etc shadow. So what is the file name? etc passwd and etc shadow. So now straight away, instead of giving the answer, I'll ask you one question, then I'll give the answer. So my doubt is, my question is, I have two files. Now, for me, the most important two things I want to see is one is user password and the user UID. So you tell me in which file user password I can see, and in which file I can see the user password, and in which file I can see the user UID. I repeat my question. I want to see user two things, user password and user UID. So you tell me in which file I can see the user password and in which file I can see the user UID. UID in the shadow. Yes, I got one answer. And password in passwd file. Yes, I got the answer. Everybody agree with this answer? So that is the reason I asked this question, because if you don't know, we may just think by the name. PassWD might contain the password information. The other thing I ask is what UID. It will be there in the shadow. Logically, this will be our mind will be going. That's why I asked this question. But the answer is entirely opposite. The answer is entirely opposite. So please remember, user password information will be not there in etc passwd. It will be there in the other file, that is shadow. So the etc passwd contain user information except password. Password information will not be there in the passwd file. That's why instead of giving you the directly answer, I asked that question so that you can remember. Now you remember? So in the etc passwd, it contains user information except password. Password information will be not there in etc passwd file. That information will be there in the other file, that is the shadow file. Remember now? So now, what are the information you will have in the passwd file? So now, this file, passwd file and shadow file, who will create it? Who will create these two files? It is a database file. So who will create it? Answer can be only two things, either admin or the OS. So who will create these two files? So I'm getting one answer like two answers admin. The correct answer is this is the database file. So this file will be not created by admin. This file will be created by the OS. Remember. So both this file etc passwd and etc shadow will be created by the OS, not by the admin. But admin can change this file. This file contains fields, properties that can be changed only by admin as per the requirement. So that is our practical. So these fields will be created by the OS, but it can be changed as per the requirement by admin. So now when you open the etc passwd file, it contains 7 fields. How many fields it will have? It can contain 7 fields by default. Who will create this 7 field? OS. But who can change it? Only admin can change it. So in these 7 fields, what are the details it will give you? You can find it here. In the when you open the etc passwd file, it contains 7 fields. Each field is separated by colon. So in the first field, it gives the name of the user. In the first field, it shows the name of the user. In the second field, it shows the mask password. What do you mean by mask in English? What do you mean by mask in English? Yes. Hidden, invisible, invisible, yes. Which cannot be seen, covered, yes. So that's what I said. In the passwd file, you will not have the information of password because it will be just shown with the X marks. X here indicate mask, covered, hidden, which cannot be seen. Next, the third field is what? UID. Now, Ravi is a username. For Ravi, the UID is what? Third field will show the UID. So what is the Ravi UID? 1000. Now you tell me, Ravi is a system user or normal user? That is the correct answer. Because the range is what? Above triple line. So this is how you will identify system user and normal user. Understood everybody? When a user is created, a group also is created. So just to make you understand so that you will not forget easily, I'll give you one simple example. When we born as a human being, we born, you belong to any country or any religion, by the assign you the name, you will get default one name. What is that name you will get once we born? It applies to every. Don't say boy or girl. I've given you the hint. So now, once you born, you will get by default one name. So I'm getting very different answers. So my answer, you are giving your answer. Children, human being, baby. But I think I'll give my answer. So after that, I'll ask whether you agree with my answer or not. Let me give my answer. Yes. Okay. Rajesh is asking to repeat the question. So I said, when we born, we means including me, you, everybody. When you born, by default, before your parents give you the name, you will get one default one name. Once you born, what is that name you will get? I'm asking you. So many people have given so many different answers according to their thinking. Somebody said baby, somebody children, somebody said citizen, somebody said human being. So it is your answers. So can I give my answer? Then let us see how many of you agree with my answer. Rajesh is saying different answer. Okay. So I think once we before our parents give us the name, that name is what? Our family name. Once you born, once you born, after your birth, immediately you'll get one name. That name is what? Your family name. So why we will have the family name? What the family name indicate? You are a part of, or you belong to which family. So all of us will have some complete name. So the complete name, what we will have? Our own name. Along with the name, what surname? Yes, with our name, what we will have? Surname. So once we born, we will have one name before our parents, assign the name. Once we assign the name, so that name is called family name. So I think you, at least one of you agree with. Okay, so it is my version. Be wrong or right, I don't know, but that is what I thought. Okay, so say yes, we'll get one family name before our parents put our name. Will be part of one family, so we'll get one surname. The same way, yes, in this case, what happens whenever a user is created? A user has to be part of some family, some group. So the operating system assign one GID. That GID represent here what? Primary group. That we will see in the next. We have two types of group, primary and secondary. So primary group will be created by the OS. So the primary group name will be same as username. So here fourth field is what? GID. GID is means what? Group ID. So like I belong to one family. So suppose my surname is something. So in my family, my father, my brother surname will be same or it will be different. My surname is something. So in my family, my brother and my father's surname will be same or different? Will be same. Yes. The same way here, the logic is here. The username and the user primary group name will be always same in the etc passed. So here the username is Ravi. So Ravi primary group name will be what? Ravi. So username and user primary group name will be same. Now the fifth field will be the comment. So to remember the user, ID is not easy for the admin. So the option is given. Admin can write anything in the comment, like that user belong to which department, user full name, user designation, anything he can write like alias. So here it is written Ravi programmer, means Ravi is working like a programmer. So this comment will be not written by OS. It will be left empty. Remaining things will be created by the OS. Admin can change anything. Here G group ID. So whenever a user is created, like we will be to some family once we born. The same way, whenever a user is created, that user has to be a part of some family. That's why whenever a user is created, operating system create for that user one group. That group is indicated here with the GID, and that group is called primary group. The primary group is created by OS. So that is our next. Another group is secondary group. Next is what comment. Next home directory. The user is what slash root. So it is a normal user. So normal user home directory always will be slash root. And next last will be the shell name. So when this user can log in, they'll open the terminal. Once we open the terminal, what is the shell we are using in Linux? This is the shell name, program name, bin bash. So this is nothing but the terminal when we open called bin bash, which is called shell. So this shell, what it will do? This shell, what it will do? It will whatever it will in a what? My voice is not clear. Others, okay. I'll just see. Yeah, I'll just see. Because from my side, every day how the setting is there, same setting using. Okay, okay. Is it okay now? Okay, I'll repeat the fields. In the first field, it shows the username. Second field, mask password. Mask means covered. So here we cannot see the user password because it will be covered, hidden. Third field will show the user ID. By that, we can know whether that user is a system user or normal user. So in this example, Ravi UID is what 1000. So we can immediately understand it is a normal user or system user. Normal user or system user? Normal user, because we have discussed in the last slide. Normal user range is what? If a ID starts from 1000 to 60,000. If a ID is less than 1000, we need to understand that is a system user, which will be created by OS. Then when we create a user, by default, a user has to be part of some group. So one group is created. That group is called user primary group. Same. That's why you will find the GID. Primary group is indicated here with what? GID. GID stands for what? Group ID. Next I said it is a comment. So to remember the easily, we cannot remember the ID easily. So we can remember the easily by writing the comment. That comment will not be written by OS. It will be kept empty. Admin will write it. Like in the comment I said, you can write the user. The of the user depends administrator. For administrator, administrator, the home directory is /2, and for rest of the user, it is /home. So Ravi is a normal user. /home. Next, I will explain. We open the terminal before we apply the command. We are opening the terminal. So the terminal, when we open, that program name is what? Bin bash. That is called here shell. What the shell will do whenever we write anything, any command, the shell. So this shell will convert this high level language in the background to the binary. Understand? High level language. So it will be converted by this program, shell program. Whenever we write the command, which will be written in the high level language, so the shell will convert into binary and it will be sent to the kernel. Work from the which particular hardware or software will do that. Then the output will be executed. And once the output comes to the kernel, again it will send the output which is in binary to the shell. Then shell will convert it back to the high level language, which it will display on the monitor. Understood the work of the shell? Okay. So if you see these 7 fields, it gives the detail of the user, except one thing it is not showing. What is the detail it is not showing in etc passwd file? Which detail it is not giving in the etc passwd file? Yes, user password information is not there. So that password information you can check from the other file. What is the other file? When we open the etc, it gives the information about the user, like what is the name of the user, its UID, its GID, its home directory, what is the shell it is using to write the command. So by default, which shell we will get when we open the terminal? Bin bash, which will convert our high level into binary to high level. Okay. So in this, it is not showing one information. Which information? The password of the user. That you can see from the other file. What is the other file? That file is called shadow file. Now I'm going to the shadow file. So again, the shadow file contains 7 fields. How many fields it will have again? 7. Who will create this file? Or who will create this file? etc passwd and whatever fields or parameter is there. Who will create it? OS. Who can change it? Who can change it? Admin can change it. This is our practical today. Admin can change any fields. Only admin can change, no users. Now in this shadow also you have 7 fields. Who will create these 7 fields? Again, it will be created by the OS whenever a user is created. First field will be what? Username. Second field will be what? The user password in encrypted form. That encryption is done here by using a algorithmic. That algorithmic name is what? SHA. SHA-512. It's a version name. Algorithmic name is SHA. Version name 512. So our encrypted password, whatever password you give, the encrypted password will be changed into how many bit? Now in RHL 7, 128 bit. In the old version, it used to be 64 bit. And one more important point you remember, this encrypted password always begin with a character called $. The encrypted password always begin with what? $. In the slide, it is not written, it is given H. But you remember, the encrypted password here will be always which letter? Before the first letter always will be $. Encrypted password always begin with $. Remember, in Linux. Next, third field. It will count the number of days since 1970, 1st January. So this is of not much importance, but it's just for, because Linux came from Unix. Unix was there in 70s. So just for reference, they kept the number of days. So when I suppose I created one user today, so automatically it will count how many days are over since 1st January 1970 till today. So this number will not change for this user tomorrow. It remains same. So only on user creation date will count how many days are over since 1st January 1970 till today. Next important thing is what? What is the minimum age of a user password in Linux? So the user password minimum life in Linux is what? 0 days. What is there? 0 days. So zero means what? Minimum life means today the password is assigned. So that is what the minimum life. So today I assign the password. So today it's I want I can change the password. So once I change the password, how long that password can be there? That is your maximum life. So what is the maximum life of a user password in Linux? It is in terms of days. So 99,999 days. So if you convert that into years, it will divided by 365 days. It will come roughly to 274 years. So what is the default age they have given for user password in Linux? In RHL 7, 274 years. Practically speaking, nobody will be alive. Next field is what? Warning days. Maximum life is what? 99,999 days. And the warning days is what? Warning days is what? 7 days. Means before the password get expired, that is after 99,990 second days, you will get how many days? 7 days. Suppose today is 99,990 second days. So once you log in with that credential, uh, it will just get a message at the bottom. Your password will expire in 7 days. Please change the password. Suppose tomorrow again you are logging, again you did not change. It will show you the password will expire in 6 days. Change the password. If you do not do this, the last two colon indicate the password will expire. Once the password will get expired, the user cannot log in. So in that, the only solution is what? Admin can reset the password. Only admin can reset the password. If password is not expired, the user can reset before the password expired. After the password get expired, only admin can reset. So these are the fields which will be created default by the OS. But all these fields can be changed by the administrator based on the requirement. So that practical. So as administrator, we will be changing the fields of passwd and shadow in next environment as per your company or your requirement. How to change, we'll see now in the practice. So this is the information about the user administration. Now we will start with the practical. Okay. So if you want to note it down, please note it down these important things. Then I'll start with the practical. Take a snapshot. Fast you do it because I need to complete today group administration also. Otherwise, we'll be lagging behind. Tomorrow session already 2 to 3 topics are there. So we have to complete today user and group. I'm not going fast because Saturday somebody said you are going little bit fast. So I'm not going fast. Is it okay or I'm going fast still? Okay. I need to say thank you. It is my duty. I'm just worried about the time. That's it. Because some people might be out in 30. Like they might be thinking the session is every day getting extended like that. If it is extended by 5-10 minutes, no problem, no, everybody. I'll go a little bit slowly only, but we will complete 2 topics, user and group. Okay. So can I go to the next now? Next slide. Okay. Thanks everybody. Here you noted down this. Then after that, we'll start with the practical. I'll show you how we can change these fields. This SHA is what? The algorithmic, which will convert your password by default. Whatever password you give, it will be converted into 128 bits. And your password will be always starts with what? Dollar symbol. Okay. That will be program is written default in the operating system. Can I go to the practical now? With this, we are done with the slides of the user administration. We'll go with the practical. So before we go to the practical, please remember one important point here. If you want to open the user information is available through what? User database file. So to open the user database file, there is a rule. That is a file. So if you simply put the file like this, uh, to open the etc passwd, if you open like this, it will say like privilege, no privileges, something like this. Access denied. You will get access denied. So even as an administrator, if you log in, you cannot open like this. So it is a database file. So please note it down. How to open this user database? To open the user database file, this is the thing we have to use. So it is a file. So we discussed yesterday to read the file. What is the option we can use? Yes, yesterday we discussed how to read the file. We discussed certain command. File is created by using what? Cat, touch, and vi. So using this, which we can use? Yes. So if you want to read this file, you have to add either cat or vi before the file name. Now you can read it. Cat space slash etc password. Now it will open. So when you use the cat command, it will show all users detail. All users detail means system user and normal user. Whatever users you have, all users detail it will show. Suppose if you don't want to see all the users, then you have another option called, in place of cat, you can use head. So when you use the command head in place of cat, then it will show you what? First 10 or first to top 10 users detail. Next, in place of head, you can also use a command called tail slash etc slash passw. Then it will show last 10 users detail. And if you want to show, if you want to check only one user detail, then we can use a command called grep username. Suppose example, my user one is there. Then the file. It will show single or particular user detail. Particular user detail. So these are the things we use to open the database file. Same command will be there for the other file. What is the other file? etc shadow. Same command can be used to open the etc shadow file. But please remember, etc passwd file can be opened by any user, but shadow file cannot be opened by any user. Only admin can use. Only admin, that is root, can open this file. Remember this. Only password information is encrypted. Even then, they design in a such a way that shadow file cannot be opened by any user except only root can open it. Whereas the etc passwd can be opened by any user. But both this file, who can modify? etc passwd and etc shadow can be modified as per the company or as per our requirement only by root. This file can be modified by the only by the root. Only root will have the privileges to modify. So we'll see practically how we can change as per our requirement these values. Who will create this file? OS, remember, but who can change it? Admin. Okay. Is it clear now? Can I go to the practical? Yes, others? Because I can see on Saturday somebody was saying, because somebody might be having some previous knowledge, so they may understand, but you are getting, I'm thinking everybody. I need to open. This is my practical steps. This I shared with everybody. So on Saturday, I seen after the session, I did not receive any new mail, but somebody was saying that I didn't receive the practical steps. So still today also, I given my mail ID. Who has not received the practical steps, you can just mail me. I'll send the practical steps. So this is the file I sent to everybody. So today our practical is about user administration. This we discussed yesterday. Sorry, yesterday means Saturday. Today is what? All the things I have written here. You don't have to worry. I'll explain you, but you don't have to write or don't have to worry. How can we remember? Because by seeing this file, you can easily understand, easily can do the practical, provided you understood the concept. Okay. Can I begin with the practical? Everything, whatever I'm saying, please, it is written you in the file with heading. You can understand very easily. Okay. So let me do the practical of user administration today. So for that, I need to open my Linux machine. So I'm opening the VMware. Here it is my Linux machine. Now we'll do the practical. Now I log in as administrator. Now I want to do the today's practical. So before I start with today's practical, I'll show you how to check all the users detail. So I'll open the terminal now. See here. If I want to check all user detail, cat space slash etc passwd. So the first user will be what? Administrator. Because its UID is what? These users are arranged based on the UID number. So first number will be what? 0. So you can find here. Here. First is what? This all users data will be created in the database file by the operating system. So first user is root. This is the username, mask password. Password is there, but we cannot see here. Covered. UID of the root is 0. GID 0. Comment root. Home directory slash root. Shell. Next username is what? Bin. Its UID is what? 1. It is also a system user, but see here. No system user can log in. No system user can log in except root. On behalf of all the system user who can log in, root. That's why root will have maximum privileges. Next user domain. It also cannot log in, you see. Synchronization is one user, shutdown is one user, halt is one user, restart is one user, like this. So many users will be there. But no system user can log in except root. Now, if you come to the last user, which we have created at the installation of OS, one user K, that is a normal user. So what is the ID? 1000. So here, home directory is /home. What is the shell? This normal user can log in, but system users cannot log in except root. So who will control the system users and normal user? Administrator. Okay. Now I want to check only few users detail. Then in place of cat, I can use the command head /etc passwd. So now it will show me first 10 users. Now I want to see first 3 users or first 5 users. Then I can use hyphen my number. If I want to see first 5 users, hyphen 5. If I don't give any number, it will take by default 10. If you want more than 10 or less than 10, then indicate with hyphen. Now, same way, we can check it the last users. So if I give tail space /etc passwd, it will show me from the bottom last 10. Now I want to see last 3. Then I will write what? Hyphen 3. Remember the spelling is PSSSWD, not WRD. And if I don't give this cat, head, tail, something like this, if I try to open directly, it will come like this. Yeah. So now let me create a user. So which user I can create? System user can I create? No, normal user. How to create a normal user in Linux? We have a command called user add. So whenever you want to create a new user, you have to use a command called user add. Then any name of your choice. Suppose user1, the user is created. So once this user is created, this user will be existing in 3 locations. First, in its home directory. Then its mail account is also created. The location is what? Where full mail. Here also can find username, and its primary group is also created. And the username and primary group name will be same. So the primary group will be checked from this file. That is our next session. etc group. So group name and username and user primary group name will be always same. So now I want to check this user complete information of a single user. So I can use grep my username, single user detail. Then the file, in which file the user information is stored? Passwd. Now you can see 7 fields. As an admin, I did not created this. OS will create it. As an admin, just I given the command user add username. Now user account is created. And its file, its parameters or fields are created in the etc passwd. 7 fields like username, mask password, uid, gid. Comment will be empty. We have to write home directory and the shell. This user is a normal user. They can log in. So in this, it is not giving the information about only one thing. What is that? Password information. So that you can check from the other file. What is the other file? Shadow file. So when you are using the grep, you have to write username, which user detail you want to check. So now shadow file. So now you tell me, password is assigned to this user or password is not assigned? Not assigned to the user one, till now by me as the administrator. Yes, it is not assigned. So when it is not assigned, how do you see here? How do you see here? You can see after the username, there is no encrypted password which is beginning with dollar. So when the password is not assigned, you will get this mark, double exclamation mark after the username. This is how you will identify as an administrator. Password is assigned or not assigned. Understood now? So this is your username. This is the password. So it is showing double exclamation mark because the password is not assigned till now. This is what? Number of days since 1970 till today. Minimum life of a user password 0 days. Maximum 274 years roughly. Warning day 7. And now if I want to see the ID also, I can use this also. ID username. This also option is there. Now, in RHL 7, when the user is created, but its password is not assigned, the user will be not reflected in the user list graphically. User is created, but it will be not appearing in the user list column, in the graphical list. How you can see here. How to log out from this user? Close the terminal. Here you can see root has logged in. You click on the root. Your option is what? Logout. Now when you go to the graphical, its name user one will not be appearing, because in RHL 7, unless until you don't assign the password to the user, here K is appearing but not user one. Why? Password is not assigned to that user. After you assign the password, then that name will appear here. So now who can assign the password first time? Only admin. So now I'm logging with the administrator again. Now I'll assign the password to the user one. Whatever I'm telling, please remember everything is written with heading in the practical step 5. You can go to the terminal. Let me open this user detail. It will be there even after you log out. Just press the up arrow key. Previous details will come. Now my user is created. So this user detail I'm there. It is there. So now it is user is created but without password. It's still this user. So how to assign the password to the user? We have a command called passwd. Then now don't press enter and give the password. If I press enter and give the password, means that password assigned to the root user. Which user you are logging to that. So whenever you want to assign the password, you write first, don't write passwd. This is passwd command, which is designed by the vendor or the developer. Same command we have to use. Then the name of the user. In my case, which user I want to assign the password? User one. Now, one important thing you have to remember, like in Windows, minimum length of the user password need to be what? 7 characters. So here also same policy is applied. But one important change. Here the root doesn't have the restriction. So root can assign even 1 character password to any user. But when the changing their, they need to follow minimum 7 characters. So here administrator is very powerful. He can use even 1 character. First important point. Second point, when you are assigning the password in Windows, you can see something like structure. But nobody can know. But at least you can, which are sitting beside you, can know how many characters you have given for password. But in Linux, they design it for extra security or more security. Password invisible. Assigning the password, cursor will be never. There will be no movement in the cursor position, and you will never get any sign or symbols. So generally, we may get thinking in our mind two things. When you are giving the password and the cursor is not moving, you may get two thoughts in your mind. One, maybe your keyboard is not working. The other, your system might got hang. So in that scenario, generally you go on pressing some keys. So it will take that as a password. That's why I'm telling you, when you assign the password in Linux and Unix, it will be invisible. So when you assign the password, please never see the screen. Just see the keyboard and give the password. So now I'm giving the no movement in the cursor, but I have given it after entering, and you confirm it. While confirming, if any, it will show through a script like this. Sorry, the password do not match. Again, you give the password. Again, you confirm it. Once the password is confirmed, you will get a message. Password authentication tokens updated successfully. It means now password has been assigned to a user 1. Now you can check from the other. Now, after assigning the password also, you will not find any change in the field. This second field will still represent before password also X, after also X. But the password information will be changed now in the shadow file. See here. Previously it was shown with what double exclamation mark after the date, but whatever password you give, but always begin with which character? Dollar. That's what I said. This is how you can identify. Now, once the password is assigned, now the user will appear. User will appear. User, yes, it will appear now. Understood this? So our main focus is what? As per our requirement, we can change these two files. Who can change? Admin can change any one of the field, which are admin can change this according to the requirement of the company. So before I change these fields, I'll show you one more thing. One more Linux. So first, I'll show you the from the administrator. You can log into any user by using one command called su. Admin can log into any user without knowing the password. Su username. So the password is there, but still administrator doesn't require any password of the user. We'll go to the user. Now, who has logged in? User one. You can see immediately the dollar symbol. Now, this user will having the limited privileges. Can he create another user? No. Can he open his own file? Yes, he can open his own file. Which file? etc passwd. He can open his own file or other user file, passwd file, but he cannot open other user or his own user, his own file he cannot open. Which file? Shadow file. So when you try to open, you will get a message, permission denied. Only admin can open the shadow file. So how to come back to the administrator? Exit. Now again I'll show you how to go to the another user. Admin can go to any user without knowing the password. Password is not required for admin. By using the command su means switch user. No, but if a user is trying to go to from one user to another user, it will ask the password. Without knowing password, you cannot go. User is smart, he'll try to go to the admin, but still it will ask the password. For admin, it will never ask. Why this has been designed like this? Sometimes the user may intentionally do like this. Or some it might be genuine reason. So they may say, I've forgotten the password. Admin can reset without knowing their password. How to go back? Exit or log out. Yes, this is one method from where admin can log into any user. User through graphical method. So normally you can do, but you can have one command gdm flexi server. What it is. So this command can be executed by admin and from graphical console only. By using this, no need to log out from the admin. So admin, without logging to the admin from the administrator, you can go to any user. Here. Now, graphically, we are trying to log in as a user one. Now its name will be appearing here because the password is assigned. Now click on the user, whatever given, I given single character. Now the user can log in. When a user log in, it will ask for, do you want to change the language and welcome screen? This will come. Say no or next. This basically login as a user one. You can see here at the last right side name of the user. When you open the terminal, he'll get hash or dollar, he'll get a hash or dollar, dollar, because it's a non. Now he cannot do certain things like he cannot create a new user, he cannot open his own shadow file. How to go back to the administrator? Without logout, we can log into the user. Just if you log out from here, you'll go to the administrator again with the help of that command gdm fluxy server. So with the help of gdm server command, no need to log out from admin. You can log into any other user. But text mode, how alt control F2 or F3. Then my username is what? User1, password, log. This is a text login. How to log out? Same commands will be applicable. He cannot open the shadow file. He can see his own passwd file. He can create new user. Only admin can create. How to log out from this? Yes, you can use the exit or log out. And how to come back to the graphical console? Alt control F1. Alt control F1 for. So I shown you how to create a user, how to assign the password, how we to the user. So I shown you from the administrator you can log into any user without password using SU. Then if you want to log in graphically to the user, I shown you. Then to the text mode also I shown you. Now our next concept is password. Can the user change their password? Yes. So the user is logged in now. He's changing his password. So how to change his password? As WD, try to write his own name. It will not accept because this can. So how to change the password? User is changing password. So how to change the password by the user? Pass WD, enter. Now, before he change the password, he should know the password admin has given to him. Then only you can change it. So admin given password he has given. Now, giving 4 character. It will not accept. I'm giving 4 character like zoom. It is not accepting. So minimum, it is showing 8 character. But if you give 7 also, it will accept. So I given zoom underscore 12. So again, I need there. Now again, I'm giving zoom underscore 12. Authentication is done. Now the user is saying, I've forgotten the password. Whether he genuinely forget or intentionally saying. So what the admin can do, just use this command. Passwd username. For admin, it will never ask the previous password of the user. You can simply change the new password. Again, he will say, this is your new password. You log in and change your password. Now, if a user is frequently changing the password, company set some restriction, then admin can change the fields. So generally, the password fields are this. So now we are changing the fields. So who can change? Only admin can change the fields. So to change this password shadow file fields, the administrator can use one command called CHAGE, means change the age. So what is the minimum life of a user password? 0. Maximum 99,999 days. Warning days 7. So that we can change it now. How to change? We have a command called, don't write CHANG, just write CHAGE. This is the command. For which user you want to change it, write that user. Now it will ask, what is the default minimum age? What is the default minimum age? 0 days. Now you want to keep some number, you keep it. Suppose I have given 2. Maximum is, suppose I have given, so suppose 1 month or 2 months. And, last change you skip it, just press enter, don't change it. Warning day, suppose 7, you want to keep it 5. Password inactive, you just leave it. Now you can see. So these things have been changed now. Minimum life change from 0 to 2 number. Maximum days from 99,999 60 days. Warning days from 7 to 5. It means now minimum life is what? 2 days. Now the user has logged in. The user has logged in. Now he's trying to change the password. Now he has to first give the admin correct password. He has given, but still he cannot change. Why? The minimum life is what? 2 days. Means the user has to wait minimum how many days before that user can change the password? 2 days. So this is the significance of minimum days. What is the maximum day I changed? 60 days. And warning days 55 means after 55 days he'll get warning 5 days. Within he has to change the password. If we don't do, the password will be expired. Only who can reset? Admin can reset. Before the password expired, user can reset. So this is how we can use the shadow file. Now, the last thing for today in the user administration, how to change the fields of a passwd file. So 7 fields are there. You can change any fields. But generally, which field we will change? UID, comment, home directory. I'll show these 3 fields how to change. So first I'm changing the UID because in the real time the users might be created today, but that user might be working for different department. So for simplicity, we'll give different department, different series. So I'm changing the UID first of the user. How to change the user fields? We have a command called user mod. To change the fields of the PC passwd, we have a command called user mod. To change of the password, THAGE means user modification. Now, you one more thing I forgotten. I can tell you one thing. If user is doing something wrong, you can log the user account. How to log the user account means we can use one command called user mod -L, capital L. This is locking the user account. So now once this user account is locked by admin, if he is doing something wrong, tomorrow if he comes, he should not log into any machine. You can use this command. Admin can check his account is locked or not by using the shadow. How? Here before the password, what sign will come if the user account is locked? One exclamation mark before the password. So admin can log into the user, but user. So now you check GDM Flexi server. Its account detail won't be there. Because the admin has locked his account. If the user is smart, he'll try to do from the text. Still he cannot log in. Once the account is locked by admin, the user cannot log in. So there is only one option. What? They to come to admin cabin and request him. Please unlock my account. I'll not do this or that, whatever mistake he has done. So now imagine you are the admin. The user came to you, he's requesting you to unlock his account. So how to unlock it? Very simple. In place of capital L, you write capital U. Unlock. Name of the user. Verify here. Exclamation mark gone before the dollar. Now, if you give the GDM Flexi server again, the account will appear again. If you want to log in from text mode also, you can log in. How to log out? Just write what? Exit or log out. How to come to graphical console? Alt Control F1. So this is how to log the account. Now, require the fields of the passwd as per the company requirement. So department wise, I want to change the field. So you can use the command user mod -small u for changing the UID. Suppose the UID is what? 1001. I want to change to some other series. Now the name of the user. What is the username? At last you have to write username. User mod -u. U means UID. Any new number up to 60,000 you can give from 1000. Now previously the UID was 1001, but now it will be 2020. GID I did not change. Now I want to change the shell and also I want to write the comment. So I want to do multiple changes. So what you can do, first to check the types of shells. How many types of shells you have? So to check how many types of shells we have, this is the command cat space etc/shells. These are the different types of shells available. By default, you'll get which shell? Bin bash. Now I want to change the shell. My requirement is I want to change the shell. I want to write the comment also. So I want to do multiple modification. How to do multiple modification? One by one also you can do or multiple. First, I want to write the comment. Hyphen C means comment. So it is this user is working for IT department. If you are writing something with space means it should be inside the inverted commas. If it is a single without space means no need of inverted commas. Suppose this user is working for IT department. So if it is one, we'll write the end of the name username. No, I want to do multiple changes. Don't write the username. After one field, give the space. Write the next requirement. The next requirement, I want to change the shell. Yes means shell. It is bin bash. I want to give the first shell. Bin sh. So this shell is used for scripting. At the last username. Now how many changes will be done? Two. Comment will appear and shell will change. See here. Either we can change one field or multiple fields. Now, when you go to the user, graphical user, the user one name will appear with what? IT department, not with his name once you given the comment. But the user will log in with what? Same password. Next mode, he will use same name, user one. Now, suppose the user has left the company. So, how to delete his account? At that time, we have a command called user del -r means the user is a three location. So completely from three location it will be removed by using -. If you remove the user without -r, it will be removed only from the primary group, but it will be existing in home directory and mail account. And if you try to create same user with this name, it will say user already exists. And when you it will say already delete because it will be there. So how to remove that? In that case, go to cd/home rm space rf username. So instead of doing all these things, simply always remember the user with what? -r. So it will remove the user completely from all locations. The user has been deleted. So this is regarding the user administration topic. So please tell me any doubts you have. Whatever I said, everything is there in the file. So please tell me any doubt is there, I'll clarify. Yes, Ram, what is doubt? We can change the UID, we can assign the UID of the root also, but we'll never do practically. And we can user also 0. The option called -o means override. That is technically speaking, theory speaking, you will do. In the real time, never give 0 ID to the other user because they'll get admin privileges. If you want to give some limited privileges of admin, you can do it by some other methods. But you'll never change the UID to 0. To create multiple users by using the user add command, it's not possible. You should know scripting. By writing a script, create the multiple user as well as we cannot delete multiple user at same time. So one by one you have to do, or either you have to go for the script. You should know the shell scripting. You know you can do that. When you change the UID, GID will not change. How to change the GID? Show you in the next concept. That is our group administration. Okay. Whether I went normally, I went past others. Is it okay that speed? Other, yes. We can rename also user. We can do see admin can do anything in Linux. You remember? Same command. You want to use, rename the administrator? No, sorry. Username means you have to use same command. User mod then hyphen n. N means what? New. Then you use the new name then the old name. You can do like that. One doubt I got it, sir. If a user got limited special privilege using the UID command, then that user able to change the super user credential? No. Remember, super user credential nobody can change. Nobody can change super user credential. If you try to change also, it will be never applicable to the user. By default, they are designed like this. Root is something like a god. If you want to change that, there is a concept called if I'm creating a user. If you want to change it, same command you have to use. Like this. These are the just a second. Yeah, it's not hyphen n, it is a hyphen l. Sorry, it's hyphen l. L means changing the login name. So first new name, then the existing last name. Like this is the command. Now, shall we go for the practical? Sorry, now the theory of the group administration. Then I'll show you the practical. See, you cannot have two super user at same time, but you can give some of the privileges to the other user. Two super users is not possible. But you can give some of the more privileges to one of. See, in every operating system, how many administrators you can have? One administrator account only. You can give some of the privileges to other users, but you never give full fledged privileges you can give, but never full fledged features you can give to the other. At one time, you cannot have two administrators. So that is called in real time junior administrator, senior, something like that. But the account is what you are giving some of the privileges. Senior-most will log in with the full-fledged administrator level. The junior admin can be given his name, but with some more privileges. Like that, you can do it. But with the administrator name, two persons cannot have two different persons at same time in one machine. At same time, you can have two administrator in single machine. Default only one administrator will be there, but you can assign to other users some more privileges. But same exact you cannot give. So shall we go for the like I told you in the I told you example for the in the OU organizational unit. We have given one user the privileges of what creating the user delegation control. So in that generally one user cannot create the another user. So we have given him the permission so that user delegation control user can able to create the user. That's why in Linux also you can give some of the privileges like what your privileges you want to create new partition or new user, that way you can do it, but complete full-fledged features you cannot. Whatever your requirement you can do it. It has to be given through the administrator. Okay, done. Shall we go for the session? Ram, you just stay, I'll show you. There is one file. By going to that file you can give the permission. Okay, okay, we'll go to the group administration now. So why we will create the group in Windows to apply permission to multiple users. Same concept here it is also used. So whenever we want to give same permission to the multiple user, we will create the group. So in which scenario we will create a group? Whenever we need to give same permission to multiple users, we will create a group. So now we are going for what? Group administration. Group administration. So what is a group? Group is a collection of users. So when you will create a group is a collection of users. So when you will create a group, whenever we need to give same permission to multiple users, as we discuss in MCSC course, same thing. So here we have how many types of groups? Two types of groups. What are they? Primary and secondary. So primary group means which will be created by the OS. Whenever user is created, primary group will be created by the OS for each and every user. But when the admin want to give same permission to multiple users, he will create secondary group. So which group admin can create? Secondary group. When the admin has to give same permission to multiple users, he will create secondary group. But whenever a user is created, automatically for each and every user, a primary group is created by the OS. That is the primary group. So what is the difference between system user and normal user? The user which is created by the OS is called system user. The user which is created by admin is called normal user. Same way, we have two types of group, primary and secondary. Primary group will be created by OS whenever a user is created, and secondary group will be created by admin whenever admin has to give same permission to multiple users. Now when we do the practical for group, which group you will be creating, primary or secondary? Which group you will be creating? Secondary. Can be primary? No, that will be created by the OS. So here you can see whenever a user is created, a group is created, that is called primary group. The username and the primary group name will be same. So one user can be a part of only one primary group. The purpose of primary group is what? To apply the disk quotas, means restriction to multiple users. Then secondary group. Secondary group is manually created to add the existing users to apply the same permission to multiple users. Secondary group will be created. So now we discussed just now to check the use etc passwd and etc shadow. The same way to check the group information. We have two files, etc passwd, etc group and etc g shadow. So how many files to check the information? Two files. What are they? It is called group database file. What are they? etc group and etc g shadow. And this file also will be the OS admin can. So now I'll the first file of the group database file. Group information can be checked by using a group database file. So this file is also created by the OS. So this etc group. How to open? Same command. Cat etc group. It will show all group detail. Head means first 10 groups. Tail means last. Particular group means grep. Now in the etc passwd it will have 7 fields, but here it will have 4 fields. So what are those 4 fields? First field will give the group name. Second, password of the group, which we cannot see. Covered, because mask means covered. Next thing is what? GID. So GID indicate group ID of this group. And then last will be the names of the user who are belonging to this group. So once you add the user into the group, they'll get common ID. What is it? GID. Before adding, they have their own UID and GID. But once you add the user to the group, they'll get common GID. So these are the 4 fields you will have in the etc group. So it will show group name, GID, who are the members of this group. Show 2 things. What 2 things it will not show in the etc group? One is the password of the group. And second thing, out of this group members, anybody has been made group admin or not, it will not show. So these 2 things will be shown in the other file. What is the other file? etc g shadow. In user it was etc shadow, but in group it is etc g shadow. Okay. Let's take a snapshot of this, then we'll go to next file. Will name, GID, and the names of user who are belonging to, but it will not show 2 things. One, group members, if we make admin or not, it will not show. So who will show these 2 things? The other file. What is the other file? G shadow. Now one doubt might be asked, we will never log in as a group, then why we are giving the password to the group? So the answer is for security. Means there are 2 departments. There are some users in one department, there are some other users in. So I want the privileges of one department should not be accessed by the other department user. So what I'll do, I'll assign the group password, or whoever users are there in one group should not access the privileges or permission of other group. So that's why we will assign group password, so that they will never misuse their privileges. Or one user should not access the privileges of other group. That's why the group password is assigned. Okay. So now the last file. After that, we'll go to the practical of the group. So the other file name is what? etc g shadow. In user it was shadow, but here it is g shadow. Again, it contains 4 fields. First field, group name. Second field, encrypted password of the group. That also always begin with dollar. Encrypted password of the group also begin with. In the third, it will have the name of the user who is the group admin. It will be admin. It will be the name of the user who is a group admin. In the third field, if suppose Sachin name is there, so you need to understand Sachin is a group admin. So generally, why we will create the group admin? To look after some of the task of the group. Like in the WhatsApp, you may have be using group admin. So group admin can do certain things which a normal group member cannot do, like adding and removing the user from the group. Adding and removing the user from the group can be done by group admin, not by the normal members. Root can do anything, but if root is busy with some other work, he can make one of the user as admin for the group. So they can manage some small things like adding and removing the user from the group by the group admin. So that's why group admin will be created. So please take note of this file, take a snapshot, and we'll go to the practical. So I'll show you how to create a secondary group, how to check the detail of that, how to change the fields. So we discuss how many files? 2 files. So who will create this? Who can change it? Admin can change it. etc group also you can change. etc gchat. Can I start with the practical now? The group? Yes. Same options will be there in the group. In group also we will use only three. Group add to create a group mod to make the changes, group del to delete the group. So if you understand users, you can easily understand group also. So let me start with the practical now. So whatever I'm telling you, please remember everything is there in this file. Everything, whatever I've shown you there. So in the group also we will use only three commands. Group add, group del. So I'll show you the practical now. So we'll be creating secondary group, remember. Now, now how to do it? Group, sorry, group add. I'm creating one group with some name. So I given wrong name. So I'll delete it. So let me create a new group. How to create group mod, group add, sorry. Then any name of your choice. I'm creating this group with this name. To check this group detail, graph. After that, group name. In which file this group detail will be stored? etc group. So it will have 4 fields. Who will create OS? First the group name, mask password, GID, then the names of the users. So by default, group will be empty. Who has to add the users into the group? Because OS doesn't know who are your users you want to give same permission. So it will be empty group. Now in this group, password is assigned or not? We can check it. by going to the other file. What is the other file? What is the other file? etc g shadow. In user it was shadow, but here it is g shadow. So now here after the group name you got only single exclamation mark, means password is not assigned to the group. Anybody is made a group admin, here in third field it will show nobody is a group admin. Any users added into the group? No. So group is created, but there is no users in group. So I want to assign the password to the group. So the command is, for the user it is passwd username, but for the group the passwd group name. Why we are assigning password to the group? For security. Then give any password for the group, here also invisible. Then confirm it. You will not get any error message when you confirm it properly. Now you can check it. So how I change the password? If you give some wrong password, it will show like this. If you give it correctly, it will be not coming any message. How do you check it? In the etc group, it will not show any change, but the change will be there in shadow. Always group password also begin with which letter? Encrypted. Password always begin with what? Dollar. Is created password there, but group is of no use unless until it contains users. So we need to add the users into the group. So before you add the users into the group, you need to create the users. How to create the users? User add. You create users, multiple users. I'm creating one by one. Without a script, you can create one by one only. If you know the scripting, you can create multiple users. So I created minimum 4 users like this. These users will not be added default into the group. We need to add it manually. So how to add it? So we have a command called gpasswd hyphen capital M for multiple users. L1 comma L2. How many you want to add? You can add like this. First user's name, because you are adding users into the group. Then the group name. So now how many users will be there in the Linux group now? 2 users. But sometime after some days, suppose the company has appointed one user for this department. So now you need to add only one user. So you should know how to add single user also. Small a. If you add 2 users by using capital M, means it will overwrite. So you have to add with capital M what? Existing also, new also. But with hyphen A, you can add single user only. When you use capital M for multiple, you need to write, remember, existing also, new also. Otherwise, it will overwrite. Now, how many will be there? 3. Now, 3 users added into the group. Now, anybody has been made the admin into the group? No, that information you can find from the G shadow. So you see the third field is empty. So group is there, users are there, but nobody has been made group admin because it is empty. Now imagine the administrator is busy with some other work, so he want to make one of the user as admin for the group. So what he can do? He can make one of the user as admin for the group. So before that, I need to show you also what I shown you how to add the user into the group. Say suppose one user has been shifted from one department to other. Is working for same company but shifted to other department. And you are admin who is looking after this department. So what you have to do? Delete his entry from here. So how to delete the user from the group? I'm not deleting completely from OS, only deleting from group. So we have an option of what? D. D stands for delete. Suppose U2 has been shifted to other company. Sorry, not other company, other department. Now, will be all users will be there where in slash home. He will be the part of the OS, but he will be not the part of the Linux department. See here. So previously 3 users were there, L1, L2, L3, but now L1 and L3. So you can add multiple user by using capital M. And you can add single user by using small a. And you can delete the user from the group by using hyphen D. All these things is been done by using the command gpasswd. Okay. Now my requirement is to make one of the user as admin for the group. What is my requirement? I want to make one of the user as admin for the group. So for that, I need to use this command gpasswd. So So before that, you check anybody is the admin for the group. Where you will check in G shadow. Nobody is a group admin. So now I'll add one more admin. Small a means single user. Remember to which department or which group? Linux group. Now see here. In the etc group, it will not show group admin detail or password detail. It will be there in the other file. Here. Now who is the group admin? You can check it out. Who is the group admin? L1. Why L1 name is appearing to us? Because he is a group admin also and is also the member of the group. So now if you compare L1 and L3, both are group members, but their privileges will be same or different? Different. Because L3 is only a group member also as well as a group admin. So L1 will get some extra privileges compared to the extra privileges the L1 will get adding and removing the user from the group, which normal members cannot do. So this thing I also written in the file which I given to you here. Whatever I'm doing, everything same I'm doing here. Everything same I'm showing. Here I written what is the extra privileges the admin will get, adding or removing the user from the group. Now let me go to this. Verify this result. What I'll do, I will log in with the L1. How to log in from admin console to the user without password? L1. Yes, you switch user. Now this which user is logged in? L1. Now can you open the Linux etc file? Yes, he can open. Now he has seen two users are there. Now there is a requirement for this group. One more user need to be added. That is existing user L4. So he can add yes. He pass WD. How to add single user? Small a, the username. If I write some user who which is not already created, then it will not accept. See here. User L5 we are not created. Now I'm trying to the errors here. User file does not exist. So that's why you have to first create the user. Existing users you have to add. So we have a user with what name? L4. So I'm adding the user L4. Now see here. How many users will be there in this? So now suppose one user has to be deleted from the group. So L3. It has been deleted. Delete the user from the group. So group admin can do what? Adding, create a user. Can you create a new user? No. No. Important thing is what? Can you create a? Can you able to see the other file? What is the other file? G shadow file. Can you open? No. You cannot open. Cannot open the G shadow file. Remember, group admin. Only admin can open. That is the root. To come out from the admin, exit. Now my next question is, in who is not a member of the group can be made directly admin for the group. Suppose L3 is not a member. Now administrator want L3 to be a, can he make a user who is not a member of the group directly the admin for the group? Let me see your answers. What is your opinion? So I got the answer as like, I repeat my question. My requirement user L3 who is not a member of the group can be made directly as admin for the group. Yes. People are saying yes. One person says yes. Yes, that is the correct. Anybody as a admin for the group, they belong to the group or not? I'll show you. L3 is not a member of the Linux group. Still, he can be made group admin. See here, how to make group admin? You can check here. G pass WD. How to make a admin? Capital A and the name of the user like L3. Then group name. Who is the group admin? L3, not the L1. So when you do, alright. Now the L1 cannot do the things which he was able to do earlier. He can add, he can remove the user, but now he can't do. Now who can do that? L3. So now immediately one another question can come. Can you have users as for one group? That is my next. Can we have multiple users at the same time? Two group admin for a single group. Can I have two group admin for a single group? Yes. Let me see your answers. What you think? Yes or no? So I got one answer no, one answer yes. I repeat my question. Can we have two or more than one group admin for one group at same time? Because if I'm giving one after the other name, it will overwriting. So naturally, the doubt will be, can we have more than one group admin for a single group? Answer is yes. Yes, you can have. Like in the WhatsApp, you can have more than one group admin. But how to have multiple group admin? This is the syntax. Give one after the other name means it will overwrite. So what you have to do, you have to add the existing name also and the new name also by using the comma. So L3 is already group admin. I want with L3 L1 also. So I should write L3 name also along with L1 name, new admin name, then my group name. Now for the Linux group, how many group admins will be there? Two of them. So both will have same privileges. Both of them can add and remove the users. Now immediately another question can remove the other group admin? No. Who can remove? Only admin. Only who can remove? Admin. One group admin cannot add or remove another group admin. Remember. Who can do? Only admin. Who can do it? So now you tell me, shall I remove both of the group admin or one of the group admin? You can remove both of them simultaneously or one by one also. Shall I show both or anyone? Okay, both you want. So first I'll remove L3. I want to remove group admin because when you know how to add or how to make group admin, you should also know how to remove the group admin. So for that, this is the simple concept. G pass WD. My requirement is L3 should not be group admin, only L1. So what should I do? Write only the L1 name. Don't write the L3 name. So it will simply overwrite. Group admin now. Now so L4 is also a group admin. Now suppose with L1 is also a group admin. Now how many group admin will be there for two of them? L1 as well as L4. Now I don't want anybody to be group admin. Then how to do? G pass WT hyphen capital A. Now use the inverted commas. Within the inverted commas, don't give anybody name. Now all the group admin at one time. It is single or multiple. It will remove. Now, who is the group admin now? Nobody. So did you understood? If two group admins are there, if you want to remove one of them, you don't write the name of the user whom you don't want to be a group admin. So it will overwrite. Like here I shown you. Here I shown you this example. Two were the group admin. I want only one. So I given whom I want that name. And I will not give the name of the user who should not be the group admin. So it will overwrite. Now I made two users as a group admin. Now both of them should not be the group admin. So what I did, I used this option. Nobody name should be written. So this command will be applicable if a group admin is one or multiple. Now you can find here. Nobody is a group admin. It is empty. Clear everybody? Yes, understood everybody? for your confirmation. Now just give me last few minutes, then we'll stop the session. Now, my next requirement is what? My next requirement is what? I'm coming from right to left. I'm coming from right to left. Means I shown you how to first the group, how to remove, to make group admin, how to remove group admin. This point I covered. Next point is what? How to GID. So now I'm changing the GID. How to change the password? Same command, gpasswd group name. Then you can change it. So now I'm changing what? GID. So how to change the GID? At that time, we will write the command group mod. Right? Group mod -n. N means what? Sorry, -g. G means what? GID. So 1002 is there. So I'm changing to some other value. Then the group name. What is my group name? Now the GID will be changed. Next, you know how to change it. So I'm not changing. Same command. Now the last thing is what? Can we change the group name? Yes. How to change the group name? Same command. Group mod -n. N means new. You write new name and the old name. Now the group name is changed from Linux to. So when you're checking the detail with Linux name, nothing will come because MCS. Now you check the detail. Yeah. Now company thought this department is this group is not needed. They are deleting this to delete group del. When you create a group, it will not create it in multiple location, only one. So no -r. Users will be existing in multiple locations. That's why -r. Remember. Now write the group name. So when you delete the group, I told you in MCC also, users will not get deleted. When you delete the old users will get deleted. Now here, the users are there, L1, L4, but they'll not get deleted. They'll become normal users. Group is deleted, but users will be existing in home directory. So this is the concept of the group. So group is created what? To apply the permission. So today I did not show you how to apply the permission because we have to discuss first what is meant by permission, then how to apply the permission to user and group. So that we will discuss tomorrow. So tomorrow our session will be about permission, and I will also show you how to create a partition along with the important thing, how to install the application in Linux. So for that we have two commands, rpm and yum. So that I'll be showing you tomorrow. If you agree for 5-10 minutes, I'll show you very fast one of the server like Apache, how to configure in Linux. In Windows we use IIS. In Linux we will use Apache. So if you are interested, tomorrow I'll show you that also. Okay. That's it for today. So those who understood, you can leave the session. But before leaving, just reminder, like please take care of yourself, keep yourself safe. So we'll continue our tomorrow session, and that will be the final session for us. So thanks everybody. Please take care of yourself. Thank you everybody. Those who have the doubts, you can stay and you can ask. It's not possible to delete the user with members. You have to first delete the group, then delete the user one by one. Group del, user del -r with the name. There is no command by which you can delete the group with members. That option is not there. Okay. Any other doubts? Others, what are your other person doubt?